to this DiveAssure webinar dedicated to our partners. And here with me, I have Tal and Lily from DiveAssure. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you again.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks for joining, definitely. And maybe we'll wait 1 or 2 more minutes to see if more people are joining, just not to have them missing the first part. You can tell us where in the chat where you are coming from. I can see someone from the A source at least, if my screen is correct. And by the way, if you have any questions, we will also have the time to answer any question that you may have after the presentation. So you can type them either in the chat or in the Q&A on the Q&A button that you see on the bottom of your screen. Yes, hello from the ASOS. Nice to have you. So we also spread in the world. And we usually have people from different continents. So it's always great to have this type of webinars because this gives us the opportunity to really have a chance to be with you, closer to you, and to have some points answered directly to you. Great.
Nice to see some familiar names.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think we also have different kind of partners joining us today. So I don't know if you're a dive center or a resort or a liveaboard. We have different kind of entities as partners. So everyone is welcome. We'll try to cater to all of you.
Yeah.
Yes, and definitely thank you for joining. And today we have a new type of presentation. And by the way, you will also, when you will receive the email with the replay, you will have the replay in the membership access that we have sent already last time. So if you are not there, just join. It's just 2 clicks basically, and then you have the replays, and you will see many more tools and videos coming into this place as well.
Great.
Shall we get
All right.
started?
Yes, Lily, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, JC. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to do a little presentation with you. Let's have a look. If you just let me know, maybe JC or Tal, when you can see something.
It's there.
Okay, so hopefully everybody can see now. Yeah, and today we're going to be looking at turning the off-season into opportunity, how DiveAssure partnerships sustain profit beyond the summer. So looking at other ways of making a revenue. Let's see how my... There we go. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at an overview and value proposition, understanding seasonality in the dive industry and diving tourism, strategic partnerships, models and examples, extending profitability year round. We're going to look at some case studies and then we will summarize everything at the end for you. Okay, so firstly, although most of you here are already DiveAssure partners, hopefully you know a bit about who we are and what we can offer you. We have various different coverage plans that you can offer to your diving customers. We have our very specialized diving, accident and travel plans that include a trip cancellation. We have our diving accident coverage, which is really specialized in diving accidents. And we also can offer membership benefits within the diving industry, where we have special offers, discounts on diving related products. DiveAssure is trusted globally. We have large partners all around the world and also lots of smaller partners, dive centers, diving operators, liveaboards, And we believe in the power of collaboration. We want to offer divers in general safety, peace of mind, by offering them a comprehensive diving accident or travel plan. And we want you to be able to offer that to your customers as well. We have two different types of partner programs. We have our dive center or operator partners. And we also have, which you may have heard of already, this is something a little bit more fresh. We have our DLP or Dive Leader Partner Program, which we will talk about a little bit later, but this is something that is especially for your diving professionals, so dive masters or assistant instructors or diving instructors. Tal, is there anything you would like to add here?
Got on my face, didn't you?
Yeah.
To add that, I think that a lot of our partners, or I would say our newer partners, because we've had people working with us for many, many years, but in the past few years, our partnership program grew significantly thanks to the Start Dive Plan. And the Start Dive Plan is I would say it's not one of our paid plans because it's a free coverage plan, but it's also a channel that many of our partners get to know us. And maybe some of those new partners are here with us today. And the Start Dive Plan is our free student plan for entry-level courses. We offer it automatically through SSI and SDI TDI, but we allow all approved training agencies to register also manually through the portal. And that's also just something important to remember, because it's an opportunity for our partners to then later on offer the rest of the plans, but I'm sure you'll talk about it later.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's a very good point and a very important plan that we offer. Thank you. Okay, we're going to take a look at some of the benefits of being a DiveAssure partner. So we offer attractive referral fees with no upfront costs and minimal effort required and a high earning potential. What that means is you don't need to subscribe to anything. There's absolutely no obligation. You can give it a go and see how you get on with it. And it's very easy to set up for your diving center. And once you've got it set up and you've got a routine in place of how you're going to offer our coverage plans to your divers, depending on what works for your operation. Perhaps you don't have much face-to-face time with your divers. Perhaps you have a lot of upfront email contact. Then it should be something that is just seamlessly integrated into your emails. So every email that you send out, just a little footnote, hey guys, don't forget, book your trip with peace of mind. We recommend DiveAssure. And this is a great point for you to add your partner link, and without really doing a lot of work, just the one-time effort that you've done to create this email and to add the little text and just a little footnote, we're happy to help you with that. So if you come unstuck and you need some help just creating a little sentence that you can add in your newsletter, just let us know. You can add it into your booking forms. You can have QR codes at your diving center. You could have a little QR code on your Try Scuba or Discover Scuba Diving sheet that you offer to students. So there's many ways that you can really make this a minimal effort with a high earning potential, as you can earn between 9 and 20% in referral fees. As I've already mentioned, so I skipped ahead a little bit, easy integration. So we provide you with the unique referral links, QR codes. We have the web banners, as well as social media banners, or perfect size for like a social media post for Facebook or Instagram. And we're continuously developing more partner resources. So you're always welcome to let us know if there's something particular you think, that would make my life so much easier. Please just let us know and we will see what we can do to help you. Your dive clients appreciate you putting in the effort to suggest them this coverage. Many divers, especially more novice divers that perhaps have never had a diving insurance before, they're going to be very lost. Yes, they can Google, but they don't know who they can trust, which is actually a good diving accident plan or dive trip coverage. So if you're taking that away from them and saying, well, look, guys, you trust me, I'm the dive center operator, you come to me to go diving, they will also trust you in who should they take out the insurance with. And it just shows that you care. You're showing your divers that you care that little bit extra. You're not only keeping them safe during the dive by giving them the safety briefings, but you're also making sure that even if you do everything right and something happens, that you've got them covered because we've got them covered. For some reason my keyboard's not working, so when I click on the arrow, it's not going ahead. There we go. So let's have a look at some of the off-season challenges. I mean, depending on where everyone is from around the world, I mean, there are some areas that I've worked in, there's almost no off-season, but obviously a lot of places around the world, there are off-seasons, either a winter season where not many people are coming, perhaps you only are open on the weekends. So it is a very seasonal business that we run in diving. You might have people booking in December already for a summer holiday. So there can be advanced bookings, but bookings are going to be a lot less. You're going to see a lot less income, a lot less students, which basically lowers your entire revenue. Additionally, you're still going to have the financial impact. You've still got to have maybe some permanent staff members that stay on site, that you perhaps got to give a full salary to keep them. And even though you may not be actually running many dive courses, you've got the fixed costs of the rent or the cost of the building that you're running the dive center from, or the boat that you're running the dive center from, or diving operation. And obviously there's all the maintenance costs, and that's the time of year that we're doing things like inspections for the tanks and inspections for all the dive gear, which can cost also a lot of money. This is why it's great to look into an alternate revenue stream. And just because you're not necessarily offering diving to your divers, it doesn't mean they're not diving, and they're still your divers. They might come back in the summer, but in the winter they go somewhere more tropical, somewhere with a warmer climate. And if you're not going to offer them the diving insurance, bearing in mind that they trust you, they know you, perhaps they did their course with you, when they get on site, they're going to be booking an accident plan with the dive center on site. So don't miss the opportunity. Stay in touch with your divers, send them regular newsletters, whether you can manage a monthly newsletter or a quarterly one, that's sort of up to you. But during this sort of downtime and off-season time, this is where you have the time to work on your marketing plans, figure out, okay, what are we doing next year? Do you offer dive trips? Perhaps you do an annual dive trip where you take divers somewhere to a warmer climate. And part of offering that trip should include either offering a diving accident plan or a trip coverage, or maybe even you include it in a bundle and you say, you know what, if you come with us, you want to book this trip, it costs so much amount of money, but it includes your annual DiveAssure coverage or a week or 2 week to cover the trip. Yeah. Okay. So off-season doesn't have to mean that it's all negative. It can mean opportunity. As I've just briefly mentioned, you can refer divers all year round. So the divers, although they might not be diving with you because it's perhaps the off-season, not the right time of year, they're still diving. Yeah, and if they're not diving, they're dreaming of diving, they may be booking diving for next year, they can already get covered, whether they want an annual coverage or just to cover for the upcoming trip. So insurance is relevant for them all year round. Make sure that you include DiveAssure and referring divers to DiveAssure coverage plans in all of your booking forms, emails, newsletters, whatever it is, however you stay in touch with your divers. Social media is a great way. You may not have all of your customers following you on social media, but you can pretty much bet that all of your followers are divers. So even if they're perhaps not even customers of yours and want to be customers, you could even encourage them to get covered. We'll have a look a little bit later on, but I can really recommend creating weekly stories where you just say, hey, are you going on a trip? Get covered. You can include your partner link. It's really easy, takes you not even 2 minutes. And if you did this regularly, even if you just got one referral from it, it would add up and make quite a big difference for you. I think we have some messages in the chat. Sorry, I don't know if someone's monitoring that.
Yeah, maybe we go on them at the end of your presentation.
Okay,
maybe.
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no worries. I wasn't sure if it was relevant to what I was talking about, but I couldn't take a look, so I just wanted to check. Yeah, so basically, the more you mention it, the more you promote it, the more you have it placed in your dive center and in your marketing schemes, then the more people are going to see it, and the more likely you are to actually refer somebody.
Lily, I would like to add a note on what you just said. I think you were very precise in everything. I just want to provide a certain angle that is maybe different from the insurance point of view. I think that when we run a dive center, as you said, many times it's seasonal, and our seasonality is the diving industry seasonality. But from the insurance point of view, November and December are months with quite high sales and referrals and promotions. So on the safety insurance part, we don't call it an off season. So I just think that it comes to say that for people who are looking for insurance, the off season is actually an even bigger opportunity, not just for the dive center to earn, but also because this is the time where we see a lot of renewals, also on the annual plans, but also on the short terms, like the annual or the short-term dive and travel around November. It's a really big peak because people travel. They travel, like you said, they travel on Christmas. So they may be a month or two before when they book their vacation, or 3 months before they would get the insurance. So that's also something to note, that we might think that nobody's looking to buy anything now, but actually you're providing service that is valuable. And like you said, they're going to Google it anyway. So.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I think, I mean, talking from me, I quite often, like, the off season would be when I actually have the time to do my research and figure out, oh, actually, I'm going diving in April or May. I need to make sure I get the coverage and want to be organized. So I would look into it already and not leave it till the day before I'm leaving, or, yeah. Okay. So I just came up with some figures because it's very easy to just say, hey, you could be earning 9, 10, 20% on something, but it's sometimes hard to visualize. I don't know the size of your diving centers or operations. So I've tried to just take something that could be perhaps quite average. Now, if you've been a dive center operating for 5 years, say, and every year you get approximately 100 new customers. Doesn't matter what they did with you, even if they just did one dive or maybe they did a whole week's diving. You should have around at least 500 divers in your mailing list. Obviously, it could be a lot more, could be less. But it just shows that it's important to keep all of the emails of your customers and create this mailing list. If through a quarterly newsletter you were able to refer 26% of them, this is what it could look like. So this is what your earnings could look like. Now, to keep it fair, I did take some different amounts using euros and dollars, because I know everyone's from, I'm very biased because I'm in Europe. So for me, it would be way easier just using euros. But obviously a lot of you are all over the world. And so we need to see what could be earned in dollars as well. If you had 50 divers that purchased the annual dive safe in the EU, which is around 69 euros, the value generated would be 3,450 euros. And with the 9% referral fees, you would earn 310.5 euros. Looking at that for the divers coming from the rest of the world. So just to, in case you're not sort of aware of how it works. So it's not depending on where you are located as a partner, it's depending on where your diver is coming from. So you might be in Europe, but your divers are coming from somewhere else around the world, or vice versa. So depending on their country of residence, they will pay a slightly different fee for the coverage plan. So if you had 50 divers that got the annual dive safe that are from outside of the EU, it would be $149, which is $7,450, and 10% of that would be $745 for you. If 20 divers were to purchase a dive and travel plus plan with a trip cancellation of 6,000 euros, that would be 320 euros per plan, and the amount generated would be 66,400 euros, and you could earn 576 euros of that. That's if they were coming from the EU, because that would be the 9% fees. If they're coming from the rest of the world, or outside the EU, sorry, and you had 10 divers outside of the EU that purchased the same plan for 500 euros, it would be 5,000 generated, and you would earn 20% on that, so you would get 1,000 euros. So also this is just to show you a little bit of, okay, where should I focus my referring? Because as you can see, if you were to refer people for a dive and travel plan, you can earn a lot more on the same referral or same effort almost. A lot of divers, they probably want an annual coverage, which is a diving accident. But you should always, when you send your newsletters, and if you get any response from your divers, always try to figure out, okay, what are you actually planning to do? If you dive annually, locally and around, locally and anywhere around the world, you might want a diving accident plan, an annual one, but then for your one particular trip that you do, for a single trip, you would be better off getting a dive and travel coverage plan, where you would really have specialized coverage, not just on diving accident, but also any other emergency that could occur during that trip, and also trip cancellation, and things like lost luggage, lost diving luggage, and everything else you might need during the trip. So the best thing is to try to talk to your customers, not just offer them what they need right now. Even when they're signing up with you in the shop, even if it's they're coming to dive with you, don't just give them the coverage that they need for that week of diving with you. Try to figure out, okay, but what are you doing after us? Where are you going? Are you doing any trips? Are you, do you just dive this one time and never again? Or are you going to be diving regularly? And then you can really figure out, okay, what can I actually offer this diver, which it's not selling. You're offering them a service for something that they actually need and they will get anyway. But if they get it through you, then you can earn from it. So it makes sense to just spend that tiny little bit more time to discuss it with them, to figure out what they need. Here I just put another situation to compare a little bit. We have one of the US plans, which is the deluxe plan, with a trip cancellation of $4,800. You can earn which it costs $268, and with the 20% fees, you can earn $54. We have a D&T Plus with a trip cancellation of €4,000, which is €261.25. And depending on where the diver comes from, you can either earn 9% or 20% fees. So this is just that you can see a little bit about what you could be earning, and how much effort it might take you to get there, or how little effort, should I say.
I also wanted to add to everything you just mentioned, that it would be great for partners to also keep in mind that the loyalty, I would say, in a way, pays off. And then I mean the loyalty of working with DiveAssure for the long run. First of all, we have around 45% renewal rate on our annual plans. I'm specifically relating to the annual plans because the short-term plans, people sometimes they dive once when they go to Thailand or Maldives or the Philippines, and they never dive again. So the core of the diving industry is usually the annual plans, and 45% renewal rate. It's quite high. We aim to give great service, obviously, and hope you never need us. But when you need us, we are there, and that keeps people coming back. It's very important for the dive center to remember that you're earning commissions or referral fees also on renewals. So if you recruited you gave a dive center that recruited 125 divers or did 125 referrals in a quarter or in a year, I'm not sure what you meant, but those 125 divers, a big chunk of them are going to renew next year. So every year that you maintain the partnership and you inform your community or your clientele, the brand gets more and more recognized. People would sign up more and more. And the longer you stay partner with DiveAssure, every year you earn more, even if those clients were passing by for a week 3 years ago while they're still renewing. So that's something very important to remember as well. Like, it might take you a little while to kind of like get it starting. How do I talk about it? What's the best way? How do I put this link on social media? How do I incorporate it in my emails? But once you get it started, like you mentioned before, it gets like it has its own momentum. Also.
Yeah, the renewals is a really important point, and something that was missed out, definitely, because as you said, the one-time effort, once you put everything in, of getting the first referral, pays off annually. So this is
and maybe also to add, if you don't propose that to your customers, then when they arrive at let's say the travel destination, somebody else will sell it, and they will also earn this recurring revenue every year. So it's better to provide this service to your own customers and talk a little bit about it, so they don't have to think about it when they arrive at the destination and think, maybe, why did my dive center or my professional not talk about this thing that I needed to have? Because they will need it, especially if they go on a liveaboard. I see that in many liveaboards, for example, in Maldives, you need to have this insurance. That's the first thing they ask you to sign up. And it's better to have it when you have the trust of your dive center. So I would definitely recommend that you talk about that at that moment.
Yeah, and I think it's a little bit just changing the mentality of thinking, I don't want to annoy my customers, I'm not a salesperson, I don't want to push a sale onto them. Something that I personally experienced working as a diving instructor quite often with colleagues, or when I started to manage a dive center and encourage people to, make sure your divers are insured. It's like, oh no, but I don't want to talk about that. But I think people don't realize that actually we're doing them a disservice by not talking about it, because either the diver may have just forgotten, they haven't renewed, oh, I don't know who to sign up with, can you help me? Or what unfortunately I come across a lot is, oh, I need a diving insurance. And this is something that shouldn't happen. I think as a diving center or operator, we need to make sure that people are aware that this is really important when diving. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So we're just going to take a look at some marketing and selling tips for partners, off-season campaign ideas. So even when you're not busy taking divers out yourself, you can come up with an email, secure your next trip now, whether it be just talking about trips that they could go on that perhaps you're not doing if you're not doing any trips, but this just brings you into a nice way of talking about diving, keeping the customers with you, reminding them that, hey, next May we're going to be starting again, you know, don't forget to look us up, and mentioning accident coverage or trip coverage if they're going to be going on a diving trip. If you organize trips with your customers, it's a no-brainer. Send out that email, tell everybody the trip you're going on, what you're organizing, what they're going to see, and of course that they should get covered and dive with peace of mind.
And every dive center is actually organizing trips, and everyone knows that also their customers go also on travel somewhere and go somewhere diving, even if it's not a group organized trip. But think about that. First of all, you stay in front of your customers. You send them regular newsletter. That's also what I call it database reactivation. You need to propose something and make them dreaming about their next dive so they stay close to you. And at that moment, if you omit to place your, let's say, information about the insurance, then obviously you leave money on the table that someone else will actually take when they arrive at the spot. So it's super important to always remind them. It's actually, again, as Lily said, it's not selling, it's really providing a service and information. And you can do that also when they visit you at your dive center. So that's definitely something that you should never miss.
Yeah, and also I had quite often the situation where people arrived and then they wanted a trip insurance. They wanted to get like a dive and travel, but they're on site. And you're like, it's too late. So, you know, don't let that happen. Make sure people are aware that if they want to get trip coverage, they need to sign up beforehand, ideally a couple of months before their trip, when they book the trip, to really secure, firstly, the cancellation benefits, but also to be able to have the complete trip coverage. Because once they've entered the airplane and left their home country, there's no chance anymore. The only thing they can then get is the diving accident, which of course is great, but they could have got a fully comprehensive dive and travel plan. So yeah, don't be scared to just remind your customers, let them know what's out there, tell them what you recommend. Another thing you can do is if you've had students, perhaps they had the start dive, just remind them again. You know, the start dive is, although we send a reminder email, but if they get an email from DiveAssure, perhaps they don't even know or can't remember what that was. When they finish the course with you, send them an email. Hey, you know, it was so great that we did the open water course together. Well done for completing it. You know, here again, you can find your certification. And don't forget, now your start dive coverage has run out because you're not a student anymore. This is what we recommend. Here's our referral link, or this is the link. You know, get your coverage. If you want to go diving again, get covered. Something I mentioned before with social media, depending on what you use, what you're used to using, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, there's lots of ways that you can integrate getting covered. You could come up with a carousel about safety, and one of the last slides could be, hey, you know, if you want to dive safe, get covered, and then you can include a link in your profile that they can click on. Stories, I really like stories because it's really easy to do. You can have an interactive link inside the story. It really takes seconds. I'm going to show you in a minute. But then when people are going through the stories and they go, okay, look, this dive center is recommending this diving insurance. all I have to do is click here and I get sent to the right page. Very easy, and then they sign up without you even knowing. And it's, if you, as long as you use your partner link, then you get the referral. So another thing is to use the off season to spend time as like before the new year begins, to really train your staff and to just help them out into how to implement, talking about DiveAssure, how to refer divers. Make it part of everything where it makes sense. So make it part of the booking checklist. Whether you do that with the customers on site, they walk into your shop and you meet them face to face and you have a form, or whether it be all online, where you can just add a link. If it's face to face and with a form, you could have the QR code on the form to make it really easy for them to sign up. Come up with a section in the dive briefing. When in the briefing you talk about safety, just a gentle reminder, hey, before we get on the boat, before we go on our trip, just double check that your diving insurance plan is up to date, that you're renewed, and if you're not, come and see me. We'll sort you out before we leave the dive center. This is just a really easy way to just sort of sneak it in there, and also to maybe encourage people to ask questions if people are not aware of, okay, but I never had insurance before, why do I need it now? That you can talk to them and say, well, look, actually, these are the reasons, this is very important, and this is what we recommend. If you implement it into certain areas and you train your staff and you just make it part of the briefing, just like we always mention, okay, about equalizing, we always go over the dive hand signals. Once it becomes a sort of, a habit, it's just something you just do, you talk about, you don't even realize you're doing it, and then it becomes very easy. You can, depending on what type of divers you have, come up with different ways of talking about it, depending if they're recreational divers, technical divers, or if you're talking to somebody who's booking a dive trip or generally likes to travel. And something that's very important for you as dive center operators or dive centers is to talk to your staff and turn them into DLPs, dive leader partners. Something I've experienced myself is you may train your staff to do something, but if it means a little bit of extra work and no extra money, they're probably not going to do it. Whereas we solve that problem for you by creating the DLP program. So if you encourage them to sign up as a DLP, they can then earn their own money, which kind of encourages them to refer the divers. They put in the little bit of effort, they can earn 10% referral fees, and you as the dive center diving operator do not miss out because you would still earn off of those referrals.
And by the way, we have also once a month, we have a DLP webinar. So they can come, they can ask questions and also learn maybe how to position the insurance when they have their customers and their guests so that they don't miss out. So we are going to give lots of tips and tricks for them, and they will feel very at ease promoting the insurance.
Yeah.
And also we are also here to help with training your staff. Lily will talk about it a bit later, but if it comes, if the time came and it's off season and you have time to train your staff, but you're just not sure how to do it, how to inform them to talk about DiveAssure, just write us an email and one of our team members will join you on that training and show you everything you need to know for the partner, for the DLPs.
Yeah, thank you. Let's see if this works. So this is a little video I just wanted to show how simple it can be to create an Instagram story with the integrated link. So with the call to action, so you just select the image you want to use or whatever you want to use to create your story. And once you have the background, let's say, if you go to this little icon here, you can actually add a link. I'll just go back there a minute in case it was too fast for anyone. So here you can click link, and then it will open up this next page. You can, here where it says URL, paste your unique partner link. Make sure that it's a unique partner link and not just the DiveAssure URL. And then you can customize what it says on the sticker, get covered, get your diving accident coverage here, get your dive insurance. And then it's up to you how you decorate it, how you like to make your stories. You can keep it simple. You can maybe add a bit of text to it. Here you'll see I just add a little GIF. I never know how to say that. Just to make it very clear, this is where you need to click. But you could add a bit of text here, like we recommend. Maybe you have a post about safety where it makes sense for you to do this. And we also have some special DiveAssure GIFs that you can implement as well, if you want to use them. To make it a little bit more attractive, it's just add DiveAssure in the search bar, and then you have 3 different options. Yeah. So I just wanted to show, I mean, this video, how long is it? 1 minute and 48 seconds. And even that was, yeah, I'm just showing again how it looks like when it comes up. And you click on the link and then visit link, and then it takes you to the correct page. So really in like 1.5 minutes, you can set this up. Let me just close the screen. Doesn't want to close. There we go. Okay, and something else I just wanted to show is like an example of how you can add it onto your newsletters. I mean, it's up to you whether you do very fancy HTML newsletters or if you do more personal, just a bit of text saying what's going on, maybe add some photos. So if you wanted to add your partner link into a newsletter, obviously you need to be in the forefront. Yeah, it's your dive center, your branding, you want to sell yourself. That's really important. And also the diver needs to know it's you. So talk about yourself, what's been going on, what's new at the dive shop, recommend any upcoming trips that they can book. And then at the end, before you say goodbye, you can just mention a bit about safety. Here you can tweak it to whatever makes sense with what you offer. Here we put, your safety is always our priority. Before you head out on your next dive, whether with us or on your own adventures, we strongly recommend making sure you're covered with proper dive insurance. It gives you peace of mind for you and your loved ones. We recommend DiveAssure. Click here, and here you can very easily add your unique link, so that when they click there, it goes to the DiveAssure website, but your partner number is behind it. Yeah, so this would be an easy way to include or refer divers to DiveAssure. Even as JC mentioned before, it could be a diver they dove with you once, but they leave their email address with you, they sign up for the newsletters, and you can still send them information, and they likely trust you and would still enjoy a recommendation from you. Okay.
Yeah, and if I may, here in the key strategies, you see 6 different touch points. And at the end of the day, it's all about touch points. The more touch points you have with your customers, the better it is. Some people may say, well, email marketing is dead. I can tell you it's still the best marketing that exists, but not with one email. You may have to send more than one. Actually, today, the average for people really taking action is between 8 and 12 emails. But obviously, the email has to be interesting. So you need to have a good call to action, but you need to have a good hook. So let's say in the header, the headline needs to be really, really good. And let's face it, we are in an industry where we have so much to propose. We can make every email super interesting, providing a lot of value. And in reality, I can also tell you that only 2% of the diving centers do regular email marketing, like having a newsletter. Sending a newsletter once every quarter or every year, it's not enough. Then you have, the birthday email that you can send. But you can really send more emails than you think. And if they are not interested, it has maybe to do with two different things. Maybe your headline is not interesting, or your content is not interesting, or actually they don't like that anymore. So if they unsubscribe, you do not lose anything at the end of the day. You just need to be, I would say, confident that your content is what they want to read. So you have to put yourself in the shoes of your customers. This is super important, but really you have to be in front of them on a regular basis. Social media is the same thing. You can do a lot of very interesting posts. And we have always this tendency to say, well, the people, our customers, our divers, they know everything. I can give an example of a dive center in the Canary Island. This lady has thousands and thousands of views, and she made super easy reels. It can be mask clearing. Well, we all know how mask clearing is. We all know how to defog a mask. But for the customers, some reminders and having maybe some fun in looking things like that makes a complete different approach. And in the text that you may have in your post, you may always position the insurance, the coverage, the importance of safety, and so on. Pre-trip preparation. Well, as Lily mentioned also before, this is super important to inform your customers what they need to know, what they need to have, and be insured before they go on the trip. Having checklist is definitely something that is super important. I will tell you something. I receive a lot of newsletter also from dive centers proposing some trips. I really double checked that, and I did not see one single one proposing an insurance coverage. So if you compare to that, now you have this information, you use the information for proposing your next trip, informing your customers, and you add the insurance link that you have, then obviously you are already differentiating yourself and having more opportunity to add some revenue to your dive center. Obviously, incentives for dive centers, this is something that you can always have and never miss an opportunity to talk about that. Because again, if they travel, depending where they arrive, somebody else will do it for you. And by the way, I'm a heavy traveler for a job, but my insurance from DiveAssure covers me also in some countries where they require insurance, not even for diving. They accept my insurance coverage, which is also another benefit that I would say we have. Training the staff members. Look, many instructors or dive masters, they will say, we are instructors, we are not salesperson. At the end of the day, everyone has the great opportunity that they have. They train divers, they go diving with people, and they gain this know, like, and trust factor. The more you cannot have. Think about a person that goes in the water, trust their life to you, and you go in the water, they come back, they survive, obviously, and they come back with a big smile. This is this know, like, and trust factor. At that moment, a professional, a dive pro can sell anything without selling. It's just because you have this energy that has been created between two parties. And this is very often a missed opportunity, not only for insurance, but for different things like upselling a course, upselling a dive. So obviously here, it's another way to get more recurring revenue over the time. And obviously in shop, well, if you don't have the link or the QR code of the insurance, well, there as well, you would be missing out. So you have these 6 different strategies and touch points that you can use, and there are maybe more, but here you have already a sample on how you can just be in front of your customers without forcing them to buy something. So this is, I think, really a good approach. And by the way, DiveAssure has a lot of good marketing tools, good marketing support. and you can use some videos, you can use, as Lily mentioned before, the GIFs and great images, so you don't even have to reinvent the wheel. So I think that here also, during our webinars, we are going to talk also about more tools that you can use and more tips that we can give to you. Just never hesitate.
Thank you, JC. Okay, before we wrap it up, I just want to show you this slide for everyone who has diving professionals and diving instructors that work for you. If you would like, maybe take a screenshot of this slide so you have the QR code and show it to your dive pros. This is for the Dive Leader Partner Program. This would be to encourage your dive professionals to refer their students or their divers to DiveAssure. By scanning the QR code, they can easily create an account. Then they have their own account. They can connect it to your dive center or diving operation. And then they would also receive a QR code that they can provide to their students to scan and sign up for their diving coverage. Makes it very easy for your dive pros to refer their students or their divers, and they would earn a 10% referral fee. And you, as the dive center connected with that dive pro, would still earn on those registrations. You would get 5% referral fees. If you have any questions about the Dive Leader Partner Program, as JC mentioned before, we will be having a webinar next week on the 15th of October, so look out for that one. If you, after this webinar, if you still need help, or if at any time you need help, please, as Tal already mentioned, don't hesitate to get in touch. You can book a one-on-one training session for either yourself, or if you have diving staff, I highly recommend that you do it as a team rather than just one of you that then passes on the information, as often things get lost and then it doesn't actually get implemented. One of our professional customer service agents will then talk you through using the system or sales or whatever it is that you feel that you need to just get the ball rolling and to help you to refer divers. So you can send us an email. The email address is there at the moment. It's info@diveassure.com. Or if you have a personal contact already, please feel free to use that. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. And I hope that we have been able to provide you with some useful information.
Yeah, and we have two questions that
yes.
some of you may answer. We still have some issues on the annual insurance that does not cover divers from Spain. Any chance of seeing this changed?
Yes, there is a chance of seeing this change. We are all very hopeful, and we hope to be able to have news in 2026 and be able to offer annual coverage locally in Spain again.
And the second question, we have also a lot of divers that prefer daily insurance coverage as they will only make 1 or 2 dives that day. This option could also be good for the dive centers.
And this question is coming from where?
From Best Spot Azores Dive Center.
From Azores. In some very small parts of the world that we consider a destination dive, we offer daily coverage as well. First of all, as an insurer, the risk for someone who's diving only once on one dive is much bigger than someone diving regularly. So the ratio of claims on the daily plans is quite high, meaning that we as insurers or underwriters, we have to price the daily plan quite high. So actually the single day plan is quite expensive for a single day. So we would always recommend them to dive once more. The difference between the daily plan and the weekly plan price-wise is not that different.
I would, in this case anyway, I would always talk to them a little bit more and be like, okay, you're only doing one dive here with us, but you're probably going to be doing more dives within this one calendar year. So in which case, instead of going for 1 week, for not that much more money, you can go for the annual plan, and then it's more worth their while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Thank you very
Okay.
much. I think we answered all the points. If there is anything else, please let us know. And otherwise, thank you, Lily and Tal, for your time and for the great presentation. And we will see you very soon in the DLP presentation.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.